Welcome to Real People, Real Matters. This is Diana Tulchinsky at Glenview Club Pilates with Mary Ellen Bowman. Mary Ellen, please tell me how you got started in Pilates.
I have been in the fitness industry for many years, since the late 80s. And I originally am a registered nurse, and I was working doing part-time in the fitness industry, but after several years of doing that, I decided to, make that my full career, and became more educated in exercise physiology, got certifications, and then that evolved into my love for Pilates. It became kind of a thing, a popular thing in the 90s, and I studied it and started a Pilates studio at the Multiplex, what used to be in Deerfield. And we started that Pilates. I was the group fitness director at that time there, and we brought this Pilates studio in, and it was a great success. And I learned how to teach it, the mat Pilates and the equipment, and I've just been going ever since,
What attracted you to the world of dance and Joseph Pilates instead of the world of nursing, which you came before?
Well, it's much more creative, much more fun. I prefer to be with a more healthy or more people that aren't sick, really, which can kind of get to you after years of doing that. So it's just a lot more creative and fun, and it allows me to express myself in a creative way, which nursing and science is, kind of the antithesis of that. So,
how do you get a person that's sedentary or, in rehab to start exercising? Like, what are your motivation techniques, and what do you use with the Pilates reformer?
Well, the Pilates can really make people feel better, and it is so adaptable to where they're at. So if they're coming in with a lot of limitations, there are so many exercises that we can do with the equipment, especially the reformer, that is really virtually everything for everybody to feel successful and want to continue. And plus, it makes them feel really good. They feel worked out, but yet at the same time, like exhilarated and stretched and lengthened out. Just their whole skeletal system, muscular skeletal system feels better. And that's what makes them want to come back.
Mary Ellen, please tell me the difference between the Class 1 and the Class 1.5 that I've seen in the schedules.
Yes. Class 1 is a basic fundamentals class. It's a foundations class, but we can stay in that one for a long time. It doesn't mean that it's not challenging. It can be as challenging as the person wants it to be, using progressions. All right, so a basic person and somebody who's been in a one for several times can take the same class, and both can get what they need out of it.
And what do you use the TRX for?
Oh, okay, the TRX is a suspension system using body weight. And I say that body weight is the most challenging resistance to use, your body weight. And that hangs from the ceiling, and you can see that. And you can put your hands in it, you can do push-ups, you can do triceps, you can put it on your feet and do push-ups that way, do knee tucks. I mean, it's very, very challenging.
How is Pilates different from calisthenics or the mat Pilates they had?
Okay, so mat Pilates, again, all just body weight. The machines are giving you resistance,
yes,
right? But mat Pilates is all body weights, and that's kind of a throwback to old calisthenics, yes, that you might think of. Yes, but the thing about calisthenics, to me, in my mind, is more kind of throwing your body around, and not a lot of focus on how you execute. Pilates, everything is about how you execute, and every single rep needs to be perfect, as it can be, We're doing everything to our best ability to make everything core-centered, and that every exercise or every rep of the exercise looks good, right? It should all be done in a certain way.
What is core as defined in Pilates?
Pilates is it's called the powerhouse, and it's the entire abs and back, all right, and hips as well.
Do you have women in the 40s, 50s, or in the 60s coming here, and how do they develop?
Absolutely. We've got women in their 70s coming here, yes, and everybody really does well because I mentioned before, it's extremely adaptable to where you are. There are so many options within a particular exercise that it can accommodate most everybody.
And is the diet restricted, or do you ever tell them about Joseph Pilates and his diets, or?
We really don't talk about diet per se, other than just general, advice we might give. But we are looking at one of our instructors is a expert in nutrition, and we're looking at a program with her that we could do with our members. But generally, you have to keep moving, and you have to be cognizant of what you're eating. There are so many methods for how you want to approach your nutrition. Yeah, right, absolutely. I mean, we're not here for that purpose. We're here for the exercise experience piece of it.
Pilates different from a lot of these gyms that are opening up in the North Shore?
This is a great environment. It's just the 12 reformers. It creates a great, fun group environment, but without being too many people. Like a big gym would have a big, classroom full of people. I still think that the group experience makes it more fun. You can take one-on-one, you could take maybe just a few people, but having the group, it just pumps up the energy.
And the support, too.
And the support, right, absolutely. Creating a community.
Do you have a success story, a super success story of a woman just gave birth, or like an older person trying to get into rehab? Like, what is a successful turnaround in Pilates?
I can think of a person that I have worked with that has scoliosis, and didn't think that she could do anything like this, and now is a full-blown Pilates aficionado. And she knows how to do everything properly for her scoliosis, so that she is now well educated, and she can go into any class and she can know how to modify for her own self.
Oh, that is nice. And what's the importance of the breath work, like when you first arrive here?
With the breath?
Breath,
okay.
Yeah, breathing.
So breath is one of the fundamental concepts in Pilates, and it's using the breath to create your fire, your power. So that's why we talk about when you exhale that you engage your core, okay? And then you exhale through the power of the particular exercise that you've got going on, right? So it's kind of like this ebb and flow, right? You inhale to prepare, and then you exhale through the effort of whatever we're doing, and it gives you the power to do it.
And what kind of props do you use to enhance or to do something at 1 or 1.25 when the person's in between the classes?
Well, that's again progressions. We use these little blue balls all the time. We can add in these ribbons. We can go to the wall unit and do different standing exercises. We have that little ballet bar. We do that kind of thing, standing. So we mix it up. Not everything is on the reformer, but about 50% of a class is definitely on the reformer, and then we mix in the other equipment.
How many students do you see a day or even in a week?
Oh gosh, Nancy could probably answer that better. Typically, we're trying to get classes to be full, so, typically if I work in the evening, which I do, I've got 12 people in most classes, sometimes a little less than that, but I teach 3 classes, so that's how many people I'm seeing in an evening. So.
Wow. Please tell me about your workshops that are happening.
Oh, we just got done with a great workshop that based on our cardio sculpt class, which is when you take this board here and you put that on the end of the reformer and you jump laying down, you jump against that. So it's this like almost no impact jumping, which is very fun. And so we did a workshop with that class and about how to jump to the rhythm of the music. So it was like a dancing effect, and everybody had a great time.
And this place also teaches training for young
Yes,
women or even older women.
Or men.
Yes.
Anybody that would be interested in becoming a Pilates instructor, we have a complete training program through our system that people can enroll
And how
in.
many hours do they give you as a trainer to grab confidence and skill?
Oh, there's hundreds of hours.
Oh,
hundreds. At least 300 hours. Then there's apprentice hours that you have to put in, and that kind of thing. So it's a long training, and it needs to be, because it's a lot of information, and it takes a while to learn how to actually teach it. It's one thing to get the knowledge, it's another thing to be able to deliver it.
Do you have any endeavors to teach more or incorporate this into your lifestyle or your family's lifestyle?
Oh, I already have. Yes, it's in my lifestyle. I have equipment at my own home I use, so I'm just into it all the way. I try to carry myself through life that way, with good posture and, intention in my movement.
Intention.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for this interesting conversation about Pilates.
And you are so welcome. It was my pleasure to speak with you today.
We just spoken with Mary Ellen Bowman, and this is now General Manager of Club Pilates Glenview, Nancy Goldman. Nancy, please tell me how you got started in Pilates.
That's a great question. Funnily enough, I've been exercising all my life. I was a dancer a long time ago and had done mat Pilates at my gym, and thought, that's okay. And then sort of in vacations, et cetera, I had tried the reformer and thought it was wonderful. I was in a different job and noticed that Club Pilates was looking for a general manager, and thought, wow, I love exercise. I'd like to get involved in that. And Janet and I met, had a wonderful bond initially, and that was almost a year ago, and that's really how I started with it.
Oh, great. Do you have a dancing background?
I do. I started when I was 5.
Wow.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
And through college was dancing, but realized at some point that it wasn't going to be my profession, but continued to dance probably up until about 5 years ago.
Did you read Joseph Pilates' book of how he describes everything?
I didn't. I have not read his book. I've read some information about him and know that when he was in New York and he worked with ballet dancers.
Yes.
So of course, when we talk to people about what Pilates can give you, and we talk about that long, lean muscle, we often think about a dancer's body and standing up straight and making your muscles long and lean. That's a reference to what Joseph Pilates did with his ballet dancers in New York.
How do you find your body different from like others, like at 50s and 60s, when you use the reformer like twice a week? Or
Great question. Again, as I said, I've been exercising all my life. I've taught different kinds of classes. Pilates is the first exercise that I have found that I feel like I could do this the rest of my life, because it's fun. We have people start at any age. People start in their 20s, 30s, all the way up. I have women that have started in their 70s. The wonderful thing about the reformer is it takes all the impact off of your body and takes gravity out of the equation, as Mary Ellen pointed out before. So you're able to perform different kinds of exercises, focusing on your core, utilizing your full body, getting a full strength workout at any age. And the more you do it, the better you get. I can give you an example of a woman who started in her late 60s. She started last summer and had never done Pilates before, but started loving it, probably came to our class maybe 4 times a week and just loved it more and more. I didn't see her for a few months. She walked in the door. I literally was in shock. I could see her face, her whole body changed after doing Pilates for 2 months, about 4 times a week. So it really, you feel better after 10. After 20 sessions, you look better, and after 30, your whole body can change. It's amazing.
how is it different from kickboxing or water aerobics or even aerobics, like the fab with the little boxes?
Sure.
Step aerobics.
The step aerobics.
Yes.
So aerobic exercise is great for your cardio workout. And if you think about people that are exercising, they're wanting to lose weight or to slim down, cardio is awesome. It does burn calories. Once you finish a cardio workout, your metabolism pretty much goes back down to what it was prior to you working out. When you do Pilates or any kind of strength training, it actually boosts your metabolism, and your metabolism can stay at a higher rate for a bit longer. So kickboxing is also a strength training exercise. What I like about Pilates is we have different levels. I know Mary Ellen talked to you about our level 1, 1.5, 2.0s. So no matter what level you're starting at or exercising at, you'll always have something that you can do. Sometimes people are intimidated by a kickboxing or a step aerobics. They think, I can't remember all those steps. Pilates, at Club Pilates, you only have 12 people in a class, and you have an instructor who's guiding your class, and the more you do it, the more you know, the more you can perfect your form, and you just get better and better and better and more confident. So that's why I think it's the best exercise out there.
Oh, nice. How is Club Pilates different from other gyms or private studios?
Well, what Club Pilates has done is we've been able to bring Pilates, if you will, to the masses. A lot of Pilates studios started out where they're doing Pilates one-on-one with somebody, which is great. And we do have private sessions here as well. But we wanted to make it affordable and accessible to a lot more people. So that's why they came up with 12 reformers. We figured that's a really nice, easy class, but it still allows more people to take at one time. The other thing that we do a little bit differently than other studios is the size of our classes. Most studios maybe 3 to 5 people maximum. We also have more Pilates classes per week than most studios. We offer over 55 classes a week, 7 days a week. We have nights, weekends, we have early morning 6 a.m. classes. A lot of studios are only able to offer perhaps 4 to 5 classes a day, and a lot of them don't have weekend classes. So again, our schedule is amazing. Our instructors are, I think, the best. They're all Pilates certified with over 500 hours of training. Plus they go through a Club Pilates training session as well, so that they understand how to teach 12 people in a class.
And what are the workshops about, like the evening workshops?
So we just started our evening workshops here. We had one, I think Mary Ellen talked a little bit about the cardio sculpt workshop. I actually was able to attend it. It was fun. What we try to do in our workshops, and we're going to try to have one during the daytime and then once a month during a Friday night. It allows you to break down some of our classes a little bit more deeply and get a little bit more instruction and focused on what you should be getting out of that class. This last one, the Jump to It, we're going to have in our Highland Park studio as well. Mary Ellen and her mentor, Mark, taught us how to really move to the music and make music more integral into the class. So we had the workshop that taught us, here's what we needed to be looking at. Then we had a class, and then of course, because it was a Friday night, what's nice is after the class, we had a little bit of socialization, because Club Pilates is also a wonderful community. We, a lot of our members know each other, but a lot of them don't, and they come here and it's wonderful to meet somebody else who you maybe wouldn't have met otherwise, and have a little glass of wine and a little something to eat. So we had a blast, and we're going to try to do that one Friday a month. Different classes.
Nice. Like, how do you know to make progress from 1 to 1.5? Like that leap from beginning to now 1.5?
Sure. That's a really good question also. So I always give myself it as an example. I still take level 1 classes because for me, I'm always perfecting my form. And that's what the level 1 can give you. It goes a little bit slower, so you can always really focus on making sure that your form is just right. As you've done some 1.0 classes, I tell people, once you feel very comfortable with your form and you understand the terminology that the instructor is using, Pilates, V versus parallel, neutral spine, once you feel really comfortable with that, you can talk to your instructor and say, I'd like to take a 1.5, what do you think? They'll usually say, yes, give it a try. I always tell people, if you feel comfortable in a 1.0, give a 1.5 a try. You don't have to stay in a 1.5. You don't have to ever progress, but it's always fun to mix it up and put a different class in your repertoire for the week.
Tell me, what is the core and how does it strengthen after Pilates? Like,
so if you, people often, you know, when I ask people when they're joining, well, what are you hoping to do? I want to strengthen my core. Everybody sort of knows that term. Well, what does that actually mean? If you think about your body when you're standing, when you're sitting, when you're doing just about anything, everything stems from your core. Everything starts here. So the more you strengthen this, the more stable your back becomes if you've had back problems. The more erect you can hold your body, the more open you can hold your shoulders so that you feel better. So that's what we mean when we say everything starts at the core and how to strengthen. The core is the core of your body, the middle part, your stomach muscles. All movement really stems from there. So the stronger this is, the easier everything else becomes. Flexibility, balance, strength, it all stems from your core.
How does the metabolism change, like afterward, like within the 30 minutes? Like, does it increase, or like, do you burn more calories in your sleep, or do you crave carbs, or?
Everybody's different. Everybody is different, so there's no one right answer as far as everybody has different cravings depending on what their body needs. The only thing I know is, as far as metabolism goes, when you do, as I said, cardio exercises, your metabolism is boosted while you're doing the cardio exercises. When you do strength training, which Pilates also has, your metabolism will stay at a slightly higher rate. You'll burn a few more calories for about 30 minutes after you're exercising, as opposed to once you stop a cardio exercise, your metabolism will go back down to where it was initially.
Do you have any endeavors as the general manager here for Club Pilates?
Well, as a matter of fact, we will be opening our third studio. This is our second studio. Our first studio was in Highland Park. We opened that in October of 2017. This opened September of 2018, and our new studio will hopefully open sometime in the summer of 2019. So that's as far in the future as I can see.
Thank you, Nancy Goldman, for this interesting conversation about Pilates.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Thank you again for watching Real People, Real Matters with Diana Tulchinsky, Club Pilates, Glenview.